February 1959. In the desolate, frozen heart of the Ural Mountains, a search party makes a chilling discovery. A tent ripped open from the inside, abandoned on the unforgiving slopes of a mountain known to the local Mansi people as Kholat Syakhl, the Dead Mountain. Inside, they find the belongings of 9 experienced hikers, left behind as if in a sudden, desperate panic. But the hikers themselves are gone, vanished into the brutal Siberian winter. What happened on that mountain has since become one of the most perplexing and terrifying mysteries of the 20th century. This is the story of the Dyatlov Pass incident. Our story begins with Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old radio engineering student and a seasoned trekker. He was the leader of a group of 10, all students or graduates from the Ural Polytechnical Institute. They were embarking on a level 3 expedition, the highest difficulty rating, a testament to their skill and experience. The team was young, vibrant, and full of ambition. There was Zinaida Kolmogorova, known for her energy and optimism. Ludmila Dubanina, who famously complained about the cold in her diary just days before her death. Alexander Kolovatov, a quiet and reserved physics student. Rustem Slobodin, a strong and athletic engineer. Yuri Krivonishenko and Yuri Doroshenko, both cheerful and popular members of the group. Nikolai Thibobrignolas, the son of a French communist who had been executed under Stalin. And Semyon Zolotoryev, the oldest at 38, a mysterious figure with several tattoos, including one that read Gina, whose background was somewhat of an enigma. The 10th member, Yuri Yudin, was forced to turn back early due to severe sciatic pain. It was a twist of fate that would save his life, but would haunt him forever. The group's journey began with cheerful diary entries and photographs. They documented their travels by train and truck to the last settlement, Vitsai. From there, they were on their own, skiing and hiking into the vast, empty wilderness. Their goal was to reach Mount Otorten, a name that in the local Mansi language means, "Don't go there." Their last diary entry, dated January 31st, describes their progress and their high spirits. On February 1st, they began their ascent of Kholat Syakhl, intending to cross the pass and make camp on the other side. But worsening weather conditions, including a snowstorm and decreasing visibility, forced them to deviate west and set up camp on the mountain's exposed slope. This decision would prove to be their last. When the group failed to send a telegram by their scheduled return date of February 12th, their families grew concerned. A search operation was launched. It wasn't until February 26th that the search party discovered the abandoned tent. The scene was baffling. The tent was half buried in snow and had been sliced open from within, suggesting whatever caused them to flee was so terrifying they could uneven spare the seconds to unzip the door. 9 sets of footprints led away from the camp, down the slope towards a dense forest. Some were barefoot, others wearing only socks or a single boot. It was clear they had fled in a state of extreme urgency, without proper clothing, into temperatures that plunged to -30 degrees Celsius. About a mile downhill, under a large cedar tree, the searchers found the first 2 bodies, Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishenko. They were stripped down to their underwear. Nearby were the remnants of a small fire. The branches on the cedar tree above them were broken up to a height of 5 meters, suggesting someone had desperately tried to climb it, perhaps to get a better view or escape from something on the ground. Between the tree and the camp, 3 more bodies were discovered at different intervals: Igor Dyatlov, Zinaida Kolmogorova, and Rustem Slobodin. Their positions suggested they were attempting to return to the tent. Dyatlov was found clutching a birch branch, his face turned towards the camp. Kolmogorova was found furthest up the slope, her body frozen in a pose that suggested a final, exhausting crawl. Slobodine had a fractured skull, though it was initially thought not to be a fatal injury. The cause of death for all 5 was determined to be hypothermia. They had simply frozen to death. But where were the other 4? The search for the remaining hikers continued for more than 2 months. Finally, on May 4th, buried under 4 meters of snow in a ravine deeper in the woods, their bodies were found. And this is where the mystery deepens into sheer horror. Ludmila Dubinina was missing her tongue, eyes, and part of her lips. Nikolai Thibobrignolas had suffered a severe skull fracture. Semyon Zolotoryev and Alexander Kolevatov had major chest fractures, described by the medical examiner as being consistent with the force of a car crash. Crucially, these devastating internal injuries had no corresponding external damage. There were no soft tissue wounds, no bruises on the skin. It was as if they had been crushed by an immense, yet precise, pressure. Furthermore, some of their clothing was found to contain significant levels of radiation. The official investigation was hastily concluded in May 1959. The verdict was that the hikers had died as a result of a compelling natural force. The files were classified and sent to a secret archive, fueling decades of speculation and conspiracy theories. What could this compelling natural force have been? Let's explore the most prominent theories. The first, and perhaps most obvious, is an avalanche. The idea is that a slab of snow broke loose and slid down onto the tent, causing the initial panic. The weight of the snow could explain the internal injuries, and the fear of being buried alive would certainly explain why they cut their way out and fled. However, seasoned investigators and mountaineers at the time dismissed this. The slope wasn't steep enough for a typical avalanche, and there were no obvious signs of one having occurred. The footprints leaving the tent were orderly, not panicked and scattered as you might expect in an avalanche aftermath. This leads us to the more sinister theories, many revolving around military involvement. The area was known for secret weapons testing during the Cold War. Could the hikers have stumbled upon a secret military exercise? Some speculate they witnessed a parachute mine test, which would explain the concussive, crushing injuries without external wounds. The theory suggests the loud explosion and shockwave caused the initial panic, and soldiers later moved the bodies and cleaned up the scene to conceal the truth. The radiation found on the clothes lends some credence to this, as does the strange orange glow in the sky reported by another hiking group about 30 miles away on the same night. The missing tongue of Dubinina. Some theories suggest it was removed during an interrogation, while others propose it was the work of scavengers, though this is debated by forensic experts. Then there's the infrasound theory. This hypothesis suggests that a rare weather phenomenon called Akaram vortex street could have generated extremely low-frequency sound waves. Infrasound is inaudible to humans, but it's been known to induce feelings of intense panic, nausea, and dread. This could explain the sudden, irrational flight from the tent. However, it doesn't account for the massive physical trauma seen on the last 4 bodies. Other theories venture into the realm of the paranormal. The name Dead Mountain and the local Mansi legends of vengeful spirits, or even a Russian Yeti or Menk, have been invoked. The Mansi themselves initially suspected their own people, but the investigation quickly ruled them out. There were no other footprints besides those of the 9 hikers. While these stories add a layer of folklore and dread, they lack any concrete evidence. For over 60 years, the mystery remained unsolved, a chilling campfire story told by mountaineers and conspiracy theorists alike. The case was reopened by Russian authorities in 2019, but they only considered natural explanations. And then, in 2021, a breakthrough. A team of scientists from Switzerland, led by Johann Gaum and Alexander Zorin, published a study in the journal Communications, Earth and Environment. They used advanced modeling, including animation techniques from the Disney movie Frozen, to simulate the conditions on the mountain that night. They proposed a new kind of avalanche, a delayed slab avalanche. Here's how it works. The hikers had cut into the snowpack to shelter their tent from the wind. This cut, combined with the specific topography of the slope and the added weight of new snow deposited by the storm, created an instability in the snowpack above them. The brutal katabatic windstorm, cold air flowing down the slope, further loaded the slab. Hours after they had gone to sleep, a small slab of snow, perhaps only 16 feet wide, could have broken loose and slid down onto the tent. This model explains several key points. A small slab avalanche wouldn't leave the massive debris field of a larger one, explaining why early investigators saw no evidence. The delay explains why it happened hours after they had set up camp, and the force of a dense, heavy slab of snow, even a small one, is enough to cause the kind of severe, crushing chest and skull injuries without piercing the skin, just as the medical examiner described. The panic of being trapped, injured, and in the dark would explain the flight from the tent. Once outside, disoriented and underdressed in the raging blizzard, hypothermia would have quickly set in. Some, in a state of paradoxical undressing, a known symptom of severe hypothermia, where victims feel hot and remove their clothes, would have succumbed quickly. Others, fighting to survive, tried to build a fire or even return to the tent, but the brutal conditions were simply insurmountable. The horrific facial injuries, likely the result of scavenging animals and natural decomposition over the 3 months the bodies lay in a watery ravine. The radiation, possibly from thorium gas mantles they used in their lanterns, or residual contamination from atmospheric nuclear tests, common in the era. This scientific explanation provides a logical, coherent sequence of events that aligns with the evidence. It doesn't invoke secret weapons or mythical beasts, but rather a perfect storm of natural phenomena, a specific slope angle, a destabilizing cut in the snow, heavy snowfall and powerful winds, all converging on one fateful night. It transforms the story from a paranormal horror into a tragic tale of survival against impossible odds. And yet, for some, the slab avalanche theory still leaves questions. Why did the footprints appear so calm? Why climb the tree? Why were some bodies so far from the tent? The Dyatlov Pass incident has a powerful hold on our imagination precisely because it lives in the space between the known and the unknown. The scientific explanation is compelling, but the image of those 9 experienced hikers fleeing their only shelter into a blizzard, some to die from the cold, others from injuries that defy easy explanation, will forever remain profoundly unsettling. It's a stark reminder that even for the most prepared, the wilderness holds forces that are immense, indifferent, and ultimately deadly. What happened on Dead Mountain was a tragedy born from a cascade of unfortunate events, a puzzle pieced together over 60 years, but whose final image will always be tinged with the shadows of the unknown. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into one of history's most chilling mysteries. If you found this investigation compelling, please like this video and subscribe for more content. Let us know your thoughts on the Dyatlov Pass incident in the comments below. Stay curious and stay safe.